Most of y'all don't actually lose because you picked the wrong team. You lose because you picked the wrong number. You took a -8 when you should have took the -4, or you took a +6 when you should have took the +10. You took a regular spread when the value was in an alternate spread. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how to research your bets the right way. Watching games, fading the public, reading line movement, strength of schedule, player prop data, and when to use alternate lines to increase your edge. So if you're serious about leveling up, don't skip this. YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Dez. I'm Dez TV, the best TV, and we back with a banger. I said we back with a banger. Hey man, for those of you that don't know me, I'm a professional sports handicapper. I run my own chat. I send my plays out to everybody that's in my chat. And if you're interested in joining the chat, the link is in the description of the video. But I've been sports betting for about 4 years, so I kind of know the ins and outs, what goes on behind the scenes, and what it takes to be a profitable sports bettor. So y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in sports betting content. I'm not gonna hold y'all up, man. Let's get straight into the video. Now, first things first, the first tip I got for y'all is you wanna make sure that you're watching these games. Not the highlights, not the Twitter slips, not watching the score on the Real app or the Score app, but actually watching these games. The eye test tells you things that the box score doesn't. When you watch the games, you peep things like, is this team taking bad shots? Are they getting wide open looks? Who's getting bullied in the paint? Who's winning the rebound battle? And this is huge for live betting. For example, if a team is down by 10, right, but they're dominating on the boards, they're missing open shots, the other team is hitting contested threes, then that's a good live bet opportunity. And watching games also tells you something critical, like, is this a blowout type matchup? Because if you live bet alt spreads, then that matters. For example, right, the Clippers are playing the Pacers right now. The Clippers are at home, the Pacers on the road, and the Clippers are up 50-31 at halftime. Literally, bro, I got a homeboy that said he was on Pacers plus 15.5. I'm not saying that was a bad bet. I'm not saying I would go with it either, but also, if he would have waited till right now to live bet the game, he would have been able to peek like, okay, maybe this is a game I need to stay away from, or he could have took like the Pacers plus 24.5 because they're down like 19 right now. So that would have been probably the same odds or better, but he would have caught the live line. And also, I'm gonna show y'all a way to know if y'all spread is cooked or not 9 times out of 10. So let's say like you caught like the Clippers -8.5 live, right? Right now, the market spread is probably around like 19, 18.5. So if you took the -8.5 or -9.5, whatever I said, that means you need them to win by 9 or 10. If you go back and look at the market spread during the game and the spread is higher than that, like let's say it's like -15.5, -16.5, then things are looking good for you. But let's say if you was on Pacers plus 15.5 before the game, and right now the line is at like plus 23.5. Then 9 times out of 10, you might be cooked. That's just free game, though, to tell, like, if you on that right side or not. Like, I ain't gonna lie. My max play of the day was Jazz plus 11.5. They was playing the 76ers. The 76ers was at home, right? I ain't gonna lie to y'all, boys. The Jazz was struggling at first, and that live market spread was at, like, -11.5 for the 76ers, plus 11.5 for the Jazz. So, the market spread was at where I took it at, which that's a sign, like, that's an early sign, like, okay, like, it's not really going your way right then and there. But, I mean, it is basketball. It is a game of runs. So, the Jazz ended up losing this game by 4 points. They ended up taking the lead, too, bro. They went from being down like 12 or 10 to taking the lead and then ended up losing in the fourth quarter. But that's just a little bit of free game that nobody probably told y'all. Now, the second tip I got for y'all is y'all want to be able to understand the alt lines. Now, most beginners, they only bet the market lines. And some of y'all probably don't even know that y'all can alt the lines. But one thing that the sharps look at are the alt spreads. For example, if a team's market spread is -4, instead of taking the -4 at -110, you might take the -1.5 at like -140. Or you could take like a -7 and bump it up and give them a few more points at like +110, +150. And then if you're really confident, you could take the alt -10 at probably like +250. Now y'all probably wondering like, okay, if the line is at -4, why would I take the -7? Because sometimes when you're doing your research and you find an edge, your research says that this is not a close game. You know, maybe it's a massive mismatch, or one team is on a back-to-back and the books haven't really caught on yet. Or it could be like a star player's out, or it's just a huge difference in the pace of the game, or maybe even a defensive mismatch. If you do your research and you believe that a team will win comfortably, then you'll maximize your value with the alt spreads. And you also increase your margin for error. See, alt lines are about matchup research, not just guessing. Now, the third tip I want to give y'all is to fade the public, but smartly, not just off impulse. See, you don't want to fade the public blindly, but the public loves favorites, they love overs, they love star players, and they love teams on win streaks. But just fading the public blindly is dumb. But this is what I want y'all to do instead. If 80% of the bets are on one side, then I want you to stop and ask yourself, why is it like this? Has the line moved? Did it move the opposite way? Is the number inflated? If a team opened up at -3 and now the line is at -6 because everyone is hyping them up, now you might want to look at the underdog +6 or even the alternate +8 or +9. That's where the value lives. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. There's been a lot of times where I literally altered the spread, and sometimes I'd be like, you know what? I don't really need to take that much points, but I still do it just in case because it gives me more room for error. And it's a lot of times where if I would have went with the market, I would have got cooked. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not taking the market lines ever. It's no reason to take a -110. I know it's more money, but it's not worth the risk. Because at the end of the day, man, we're gambling. So you want to at least make sure you're gambling the right way and gambling smart. Because this is our hard-earned money that we betting with. So let's at least make sure that we're gambling safe. Now, I know some of y'all keep hearing me talk about the public money, how to see who the public is betting on. So I'm finna show y'all how to actually see that. Now, it's a lot of ways that you can do this, but you can go check on Twitter or X. You can go check the CBS Sports app. You can go to Google Trends. You can use Outlier and any sports book that shows the percentages. If majority of the tickets are heavy one way, then that's public money. But the line tells you where the sharp money is. The tickets versus the money percentage matters. And I know we talking about fading the public, but you don't want to just fade the public all the time. Now, a lot of time the better team is going to straight up win, but the value is probably on the underdog. Because like I said in my videos before, if you take like the favorite at a -300, then there's no value in that. Now, another tip for y'all, when betting on these games, you want to know who has the hardest strength of schedule. Now, one thing I use to check this is ChatGPT. You can literally go on ChatGPT and look up, okay, the Hornets are playing the Pacers. Who's had a tougher strength of schedule in the past 5 games? Or like, especially for college basketball, a lot of these teams be ranked and they be playing unranked teams. 9 times out of 10, you definitely want to make sure you know the strength of schedule in those college games, because it'll be a lot of times where the books just haven't caught on and the odds will be fucked up. So you might find some value on the underdog because they're not ranked and the books are looking at like, okay, this team is ranked for a reason. We gonna make them the favorites. But whole time, the underdogs, they not ranked because they're playing tougher opponents. So that's something I include in my research process right there. I make sure I always know who has played the tougher opponents. And it's another thing that I want y'all to know too, bro. When you're sports betting, records do not matter. A team might be 7-3 their last 10 games, but who did they beat? If they beat bottom of the barrel teams, then their record is inflated. Yeah, their record might look good on paper, but they're not really playing nobody. That's why their record is like that in the first place. So you want to make sure you're looking at the last 10 opponents, the road versus home splits, and the defensive rankings that they faced. And you can use the CBS Sports app to see all of this. Now, the next thing that's one of the most important things in sports betting is line movement. Understanding what line movement is and what it does and why it moves, how it moves. Now, I'm not going to go too into detail on line movement, but you always want to check where the line is now and where it came out at. When the line moves, it's always a reason. Now, it could just be the public betting on them, or it could be like a player is out, a star player isn't playing, or it could just be because of public hype. If the line moves but injury report doesn't justify this line movement, then that's sharp money. Now, also, if you like a favorite and expect line movement from that game, then grab it early before the line jumps. Closing line value wins long term. Now, next up, I'm gonna go over how I research when I'm player prop betting. Now, to everybody in my chat, y'all know I don't really get on player props that often, but when I do, I make sure that there's some value in the line that I'm taking. So you definitely want to look at matchups and who's guarding who. Is the pace high? What's this player's usage rate? How many minutes is he getting a game? And a very important thing that you want to look out for is if this game has blowout risk potential. If you're taking a player over, you definitely want to know if it's going to be a blowout or not. And it's easy to check and see if it's going to be a blowout. You just want to look at what the spread is at when it closes. For example, if a spread closed at 15.5, then that is a blowout risk game. Now, me personally, I stay away from games where it's a lot of blowout potential, because you definitely don't want to be on that wrong side of that blowout. Now, I'm finna give y'all some real sauce, so make sure y'all listen up. When researching these player props, you want to make sure you're using either the app Outlier or the website Doink Sports Research. Now, I like Outlier a lot because I don't really got to go on Google and look up what this player is doing the last 10 games. I could just get right on the app and see it for myself. For example, let's say if I'm thinking about taking a player like Kobe White for 4 assists, I can literally go on the app, go to the search bar, type in his name, Kobe White. I can see what the regular line is at for his assist, and I can change it to the alt line 4 or over 3.5. When I do that, it'll show me how often he's covered this line. And then like you could check like the percentage he's covered in 2025, the last 20 games, the last 10 games, the last 5 games, and even head to head. So if y'all like to bet player props, y'all make sure y'all download Outlier, man. It's gonna help y'all out a lot. Now for the website Doink. One thing I like about using the website Doink is like you can see what this team gives up to this position. You can see what they average against point guards. You can see how many points shooting guards is averaging against them. And you can see things like how many threes this team gives up a game and things of that nature. So yeah, Outlier and Doink are my favorite resources to use when I'm betting on player props. Now the next thing I want to go over is situational spots. And this is just looking for things like, is a team on a back-to-back? Do they have 3 games in 4 nights? Are they on a long road trip? Or is it a revenge game? If everything aligns with your research, you know, the matchups, the fatigue, and you find the edge, then this is when alt spreads make sense. Now next we gonna go over mastering one thing. A lot of y'all be trying to dib and dabble. Y'all be taking the over and under some games. Then y'all do alt spreads, money lines. Then y'all do player props. Man, you gotta literally master one thing. Whether it's alt spreads, live betting, over and unders, first half bets, player props, or if you're one of those people that only like to take underdogs, find you one thing to master and stick to it. This is one thing that the Sharps are doing. The Sharps specialize in one category. So find your spots and really take over. And the last thing I want to go over for y'all is bankroll discipline. When it comes to bankroll discipline or bankroll management, however you want to word it, this is really what's going to keep you in the game long term. You want to make sure that you're using proper bankroll management and betting 1 to 5% of your bankroll on one play. So for example, if your bankroll is $1,000, then 1% would be $10 and 5% would be $50. So if that's your bankroll, you should never be betting more than $50 on one play. And some of y'all might not even want to bet more than $50 in one day, but keep your unit size consistent. Don't chase L's, trust your edge. And trust your research. Now, if y'all want to see the plays that I'm taking on a daily basis, man, the link is in my description to my Telegram chat. But I just wanted to make this video to really help some of y'all, because I know a lot of y'all, man, y'all be sports betting, but y'all don't really have no way that y'all do y'all research. And some of y'all just need help. So if this video helped you out, man, y'all make sure y'all like the video, subscribe if you're new, and also let me know in the comments if it's something that you need help with. But it's your boy, I'm Dez TV, the best TV, and we out.
Everybody wanna be a nigga that's lit. Everybody wanna be a nigga that's rich. Everybody really wanna live like this, but not everybody wanna take that risk. Tryna cut 100 million, go pop my shit. Run it up and I'm still gon' need my money. Split the bag with the bro, he don't go for me. Empty the Mac and gon' kick down the door for me. I come from the trenches, now everything different. I just hope that they know I'm the same. I'm the same, only thing is my name.